So I'm sure if you're watching this video, then you know that Apple announced their new iPhone 14 lineup of phones, which is the iPhone 14, 14 Plus, 14 Pro, and then the 14 Pro Max. And directly from Apple, these phones can get relatively expensive, right? They start at $799 for the iPhone 14, and then you can max out an iPhone 14 Pro Max to, I believe, $1,600, $1,700 if you go with the 1TB variant. So with that being said, all these carriers, and these carriers are all US based, but these carriers have some amazing deals in order to get you these iPhones for a much cheaper price. Yes, it comes with its caveats, but in this video, we're going to be going over all the carrier deals that are currently going on in the US with the big four. So without further ado, let's talk about all these iPhone deals and let's see if it makes sense for you to grab one directly through your carrier. Let's get it. So before we get started, just full transparency, I personally use T-Mobile and I've used T-Mobile for a very, very long time. I'm not saying they're the best or the worst, I just want to let you guys know that I do use T-Mobile for personal and business use. But let's actually start off with Verizon, because Verizon is probably the most popular cell service here in the US. So Verizon definitely likes to bring over new customers by giving them the better deal versus existing customers. So for new customers, for the iPhone 14 Pro Max and the iPhone 14 Pro, if you opt into their unlimited plan and you bring an iPhone 10 or newer in order for a trade-in, then Verizon will give you $1,000 off of an iPhone 14 Pro or Pro Max, and then also after 6 weeks, they'll throw you a $200 Visa e-gift card for paying for the unlimited plan. So $1,000 off of a $1,000 phone. If you go with the iPhone 14 Pro Max or the iPhone 14 Pro, you're either spending $0 or you're spending $99 for the baseline models. And I'm going to be talking about the baseline models moving forward. If you guys do want to opt into more storage space, then by all means go for it, but just know that these deals are for the baseline models. And then for current Verizon customers, if you do bring in an iPhone to trade in, then you can get up to $800 off of a new iPhone 14 purchase. So keep that in mind. And then when it comes to the 14 and the 14 Plus on Verizon, the 14 Plus, still you cannot pre-order it. For some reason, Apple, that's the only one that isn't going to be released until October 7th, so keep that in mind moving forward. But for the iPhone 14, you get the same deal. If you're a new customer, $1,000 off, plus $200 Visa e-gift card, and now you're probably thinking, Fernando, you know, the iPhone 14 is $800. How can you get $1,000 off of an $800 phone? So those extra $200 actually gets divvied up through your 24-month to 36-month plan for the unlimited plan. So I think your plan ends up being like $5 cheaper over 2 or 3 years. So that is what Verizon is doing holistically from new users and then existing users. Overall, you get at least $800 off, at most $1,000 off, and then plus an extra $200 e-gift card that you can use as you so please. So now let's talk about AT&T. AT&T has been around for a very, very long time here in the US, even back when it used to be called Bell South. I remember that. But with this one, what makes AT&T different than Verizon in terms of the deals is that new and existing customers get the same exact deal. And if you guys have seen the commercials for AT&T here in the US, that is something that they pride themselves on.
Wait, did I just hear existing customers can get a deal?
Yep, at AT&T, new and existing customers get our best deal on all smartphones.
So for all the iPhones, you need to have at least an iPhone 10 or newer to trade in, and this is the way that it goes. For the iPhone 14 Pro Max, if you trade in an iPhone 10 or newer, you get the iPhone 14 Pro Max for $99, you get the iPhone 14 Pro for free, again, for free, and then you get the iPhone 14 also for free if you trade in an iPhone 10 or newer. Now again, you must enroll or already be enrolled in their unlimited plan in order for this to happen. So if you go with one of their non-unlimited plans or something other than their unlimited plan, then you don't get these same trade-in values. So keep that in mind. They're really trying to lock you in for 24 to 36 months in their unlimited plan in order for you to get the best deal possible, which makes sense overall, but keep that in mind when you are going to AT&T and Verizon. So AT&T was pretty simple. So it's either $99 for the Pro Max, and then everything else below that is going to be free as long as you have an iPhone to trade in and you're on the unlimited plan. Same thing goes for the iPhone 14 Plus, but again, you will not be able to get that one until October 7th. So now let's talk about T-Mobile. So T-Mobile, like I mentioned, is a carrier that I personally use. Even though I use T-Mobile, I still go through Apple to get my iPhone 14 and 14 Pro Max, just because it's a little bit more seamless, a little bit easier, and I can actually like time it correctly in order to get it ordered right on time versus going through a carrier where there's a lot more variables to take into consideration. But if you want to go through T-Mobile, T-Mobile takes the same approach as AT&T, whereas both new and existing customers get the same deal, but they also add a second layer onto that. So with Verizon and AT&T, you need to be on their unlimited plan in order to get any sort of discount on the new iPhone 14 and 14 Pro lineup. But when it comes to T-Mobile, yes, you do get an additional perk for going with one of their unlimited plans, but if you don't want to go to one of their unlimited plans and you do have an iPhone to trade in, you can actually get half off of any of the iPhones if you don't want to go with the unlimited plan. So at least it gives you a little bit optionality if you don't want to go with their Magenta Max, which actually is pretty expensive at $60 a month. But for the iPhone 14 Pro Max, as long as you have an iPhone 10 or newer, you get $1,000 off the phone, plus another $200 e-gift card for both existing and new customers, and then that starts to trickle down. So with the iPhone 14 Pro, you actually get it for free when you trade in an eligible iPhone, as long as you go with the unlimited plan, and if you don't go with the unlimited plan, then you get it for half off. And then same thing applies for the iPhone 14, and then eventually the 14 Plus when it does release. And then the last carrier that I want to talk about, which is relatively new as a cell phone carrier in the US, they've been a TV provider for years and a telecommunications company for years, but this is Xfinity Mobile. So these deals with Xfinity Mobile are for the person that A, want to keep their current iPhone but get a new one, or B, just don't have an iPhone to trade in. So the deals aren't as lucrative. You're not going to get the $1,000 off of an iPhone 14 Pro Max, but there's two awesome things that I like about Xfinity Mobile. Is number one, you don't need an iPhone to trade in to get any sort of deal, and number two, they don't lock you in to any 24 or 36 month unlimited plan in order to get those deals. So with Xfinity Mobile, you can get $400 off any of the iPhone 14s. So the 14, 14 Plus, 14 Pro, and 14 Pro Max, as long as you port over your number to Xfinity Mobile. That is the only action you need to take. It's supposedly very, very seamless and easy to do, and all you have to do is port your number over, and then you'll be good to go. Now, it doesn't take into account what you have to do to cancel your number, let's say with Verizon or T-Mobile or something like that, because usually canceling a phone number does incur some costs on the other side. But if you do want to go with Xfinity Mobile and just get something clear, cut and dry that's month to month, by all means, Xfinity Mobile is a good option for you at $400 off any single iPhone, which will make the iPhone Pro Max $700, the iPhone 14 Pro $600, and then starts to trickle down from there. So there you have it, everybody. Those are the big four in terms of the US carriers that are offering all the deals possible in order to get an iPhone 14 Pro or iPhone 14 in your pocket as soon as possible. So if you didn't go through Apple and go through that whole first wave of pre-orders that everybody, woke up early to get done, this is probably a much better route because these carriers will have more availability, especially in stores. So if you guys want to go in there, check them out, by all means, go for it. And shout out to Rika from 9to5Mac for writing this article and getting all the information. I'm going to link her article down in the description below. If you guys do want to check that out and start clicking on the links in there to go directly to certain carrier sites and see exactly what they got going on over there and see how much you can save on your new iPhone 14, which I'm excited to get into the studio. We did order the iPhone 14 Pro Max, so it should come next week on Friday. So make sure to stay subscribed because we also got the AirPods 2 and we got the Apple Watch Ultra. So we're going to test out this whole, Max, Ultra, AirPods 2 ecosystem and see how much better it is than my Apple Watch Series 5, my regular AirPods 2, and my iPhone 13 Pro Max. But that's going to do it for this video, everybody. If you did make it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below, and leave some comments down below of what you plan on doing. Are you going to keep your current iPhone? Are you in the Android world looking to go into the iPhone world? Very curious to know. But if you guys want to watch some more coverage on everything Apple, click on one of these videos right here, and you won't be disappointed. But I'm Fernando, and I'm out of here. Peace.